Hello, Iron Man fans. This is soliddavesnake and
Mr. Fixit.
and we are going to be starting up this new channel, the comic and comedy movie reviews, and obviously by the title we're going to be reviewing movies that are based off of comic books and that are comedies. And we thought it would be fitting for our first video to be Iron Man 3, since that's a big comic movie this year that just came out. We just saw it in 3D this weekend, and just thought we'd give an overall breakdown and review of the movie for you guys. And it's going to contain spoilers, so just to give you a heads up, if you haven't seen it and you don't want anything ruined, you may not want to watch this just yet. But alright, we'll just get right into it. I'll just say right off the bat, the opening theme song, I'm Blue by Eiffel 65, was just a horrible song to get this movie started off with.
I agree too. I understand where they're going with it, but it just really didn't fit for the opening. It didn't give you a good feel as soon as you got with those opening credits. You know what I mean, Snake?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's whenever you've had theme songs like the song Iron Man in the original movie by Black Sabbath, it's kind of hard to have a song like this to kick off the movie with. But it was great in 3D. Great movie overall for the Iron Man trilogy. We think this might be the last one, the last Iron Man. Probably not the last time we're going to see Tony Stark as Iron Man in the Avengers, but probably definitely the end of this Iron Man trilogy, I think this movie was. And he actually ran his suit armor in this movie up to Mark 42. I believe in the second Iron Man movie, he was only up to like Mark 7 or 8.
Yeah, it was a really low number. It didn't get high at all.
Yeah, but he was all the way up into Mark 42, so that means he had 42 suits at his disposal. But the Mark 42, what did you think about his main suit in this movie?
Well, the main suit, that Mark 42, the one that you see a lot in the movie, I mean, it looked cool, had a good paint scheme. I thought that was pretty good, but I mean, it gave him problems from the get-go, and I mean, that was pretty much like a running theme with it.
Yeah, the whole concept of the Mark 42 was he had little implants that he had put in his arms where he could call on the armor when he did a certain movement with his forearms, and the armor would actually, from wherever it was located, would come on, automatically turn on, and individual pieces fly onto his body to kind of just suit up anywhere. Have that armor come flying at you. And they used it in some pretty good scenarios.
They actually used it as kind of like a doppelganger, kind of, in a couple parts of the movie. Pretty neat, being able to control it, the whole armor. It was a really neat kind of effect. What do you think?
Yeah, oh yeah, and he at one point saved Pepper Potts with it. I thought that was a really neat use of the armor. Whenever the Stark Mansion was getting attacked, he ordered it over to her while they were both getting blown up in the air, and it covered her up and protected her. I thought that was pretty unique, pretty neat.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. I like that effect. That was pretty cool when they did that.
Yeah, but Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Let's just get this out of the way right now. He has got to be one of the top 3 actors that have ever played a comic book superhero. He's got to be in the top 3 for the ones that have just nailed it. Probably him and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Christian Bale as Batman. Man, these guys, they've just nailed these roles. In this movie, you truly feel that Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Yeah, he does do a great job. He does have that great charisma, that swagger about him. I mean, he looks a lot like the comic books. Some of the later comic books, he looks a lot like them. I mean, he did a great job with the mannerisms, and the way he even talks in the comic books is still kind of, comes through in the movie too. So I like that. That was pretty good. What about you?
Oh yeah, he just nails Robert Downey Jr., the actor. Just seems to nail these ad-lib parts in the movie that he just weren't even in script, and it just cracks you up. He really took the part of his own and just nailed it. But one thing that we were getting excited for in this movie, all the fans, and I think everybody will agree was a huge letdown when it came to it, is the main villain in this Iron Man, which is the Mandarin. And the Mandarin in the comics is kind of like Wolverine's Sabretooth. It's his arch nemesis, kind of like the Batman's Joker. And what they did with him was just a crime, I think, and a tease. I mean,
it was horrible. It was really bad. I mean, whenever you come to find out what happens in it, and it was horrible. I just wanted to get up and walk out.
Tell them what happened.
I mean, you end up finding out where it was just a guy playing the Mandarin. It was just an actor.
It was just
fake.
all a show. He throughout the movie, you just get these videos. They kind of make him out to seem like a terrorist, like a Bin Laden type. And they do a great job building it up, him sending videos out and everything. And they even tease as much to have a close up on his hand with the rings. And if you know the comic book character, he's got 10 rings, and they all have a different elemental power.
Yeah, you even get a tease too. They even shows the rings on his hands,
and
but
nothing magical. It's all just a ploy. He's not even the one behind the whole main scheme. He's just, like Mr. Fixit here said, and he's just kind of like an actor, like a front man, fall guy for the actual people behind it. And the actual people behind it, it's pretty cool that they put them in, and it's AIM. They haven't been in any Marvel movie yet, and they're kind of big antagonist group in the Marvel universe. And they finally threw them in there. And how would you actually describe them in this movie? Is cyborg so much, or were they done with nano machines? They kind of loosely went over it with that description of the brain, but
yeah, it was more like a serum kind of like injection they were giving soldiers, and it would just make them just heal themselves, just spontaneously heal themselves using some sort of fire.
Yeah, they were kind of reactive. They could kind of self-destruct, and that's what the bombs were. The bombs were actually people in the movie, and they would just overreact. I guess it maybe had to do with nanomachines. They didn't explain it too well, or maybe I just couldn't follow that part as well. I don't know. They just loosely touched on it towards the beginning. But I thought it was nice that they had AIM in this movie. The attack on Stark Mansion, wow, that was great in 3D. This was a good overall movie to see in 3D, I think, with all the flying suits and especially in that scene, all the rockets flying and debris from explosions.
Yeah. Man, when you first start seeing this stuff, I mean, a chopper and that door comes down, you see all the missiles. It's like, you know it's going to happen. And it was great special effects. I mean, the way the mansion came down, I mean, it looked great, especially in 3D. I mean, best movie, I think. What about you?
Oh, yeah, probably the best scene in the movie, I'd say, was that. Just like Mr. Fixit here says, after that, Tony Stark gets lost in Kentucky for a while without any suit. And actually, Robert Downey Jr. had to do a lot of acting and fighting sequences outside of the suit in this movie. Probably more than any of the past two movies, I'd say.
Yeah, he did a good bit outside the suit. I mean, there were a lot of good, especially in Kentucky, like he was saying. There was a couple of times where he had to do some makeshift, gadgets that he had to get him just in random spots, kind of like MacGyver moment, really.
That was a big comedic part of the movie too. That scene with the kid. He did a lot of funny interactions with that kid. It was pretty cool. That part was pretty good. War Machine was back in this movie, or Colonel James Rhodes, who is played by
Don Cheadle.
Yeah, and he was War Machine in the last movie, and in this movie he is Iron Patriot. What did you think about the difference between War Machine and Iron Patriot in this one? Which one do you like more?
I mean, I like Iron Patriots. It was good. I liked seeing it. It was a cool.
The color scheme was good.
Color scheme. Yeah, it was cool.
Like
it was cool to see. But,
Iron Man American flag.
But I mean, I loved War Machine. In the second movie, he
got a lot more action in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Too.
He got a lot of action in that movie, and I liked that.
Where in Iron Man 3, you really don't see Iron Patriot in that much action.
No, you don't. I mean, you see him here and there, but I mean, it's a lot more teasing.
Yeah, he kind of gets sent on their leads. He's kind of misdirection with him, and they actually end up stealing the suit. So at the end of the movie, it's actually Tony Stark and Colonel James Rhodes kind of almost fighting the whole time without their suits.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Tell them about that scene, the end of the movie, whenever they have to call in all the 42 suits.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? All the different armors coming at once.
That was pretty good. That was pretty neat seeing all of the suits. I mean, 42 suits. Well, probably 42 suits, but it was pretty neat seeing them all fly in, getting to see all of them.
The variety. There was a lot of different. Some of them, they would look similar, but they all had little tinkers, little differences.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
He was holding up a crane or something like that. That was pretty neat to see. There was a suit where had jackhammers.
Yeah, the fists were like jackhammers.
I thought that was pretty neat, seeing all those suits. I mean, there was also different paint jobs on the suits too. Were pretty neat.
And I liked in the 3D effect of how he was leaping from suit to suit as one was getting destroyed.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and using pieces and parts of them. There was a lot of not just him fighting in the whole suit, but like I said, throughout the whole movie, him fighting just without a suit or with just parts, pieces, kind of like half suits on him. And I don't know. I liked the ending with how they did that, and but it just didn't feel like there was an epic final bad guy to kill because of what they did with the Mandarin in this movie. It felt like they could have been great if they would have done the Mandarin the comic book justice he deserved. But with what was his name? Aldrich Killian was the leader of AIM. Yeah, it just felt a little lackluster to me. What do you think? I mean,
that fight. Okay, that whole end fight, whenever they actually duke it out and shit, and that Mark 42 gets used again in the very end. I thought that was kind of. I mean, that fight was pretty cool. I like it. I mean, it shows how tough what AIM did.
But they just could have gave us so much more with the Mandarin if done right.
Yeah, the Mandarin.
The 10 rings, all the different powers that could have been unleashed on the 42 suits. It just overall let down. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean,
not the overall movie in total, just with how they did the main villain in my book.
The Mandarin, yeah, that took a big chunk off of my rating.
What could have been a 10 movie. We were actually unanimous on this first movie we're doing a review on, and we both give it a 7. 7 out of 10. Yeah, just could have been done perfect if they would have went full-fledged terrorists with the Mandarin, like how they were starting with them, and didn't go for that comic relief with them. And Sir Ben Kingsley, I thought would have been a great person to play that role.
Yeah, he did a great job.
He was doing a good job, and then it just ruined it when Tony busted in and he was just
taking a shit.
An actor. Yeah, taking a shit with hookers on the bed.
Yeah. I mean,
coming out hitting the hookah. They ruined it.
I wanted to get up.
Yeah. Oh, and a nice teaser at the end with Tony Stark talking to Bruce Banner. Kind of neat throw out there that teaser's at the end.
Yeah, you got to catch that out.
But there's a lot of good comic movies coming out later on this summer and fall. We got the Wolverine coming out next, I think. That's probably the next new movie we'll be doing a review on. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. He's probably my favorite comic book character.
Yeah,
so
you got Man of Steel coming out here in a little bit.
Yeah, Man of Steel too. That's
Superman.
That's coming out very soon.
Yeah, it's coming out here in a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to check those out and let you guys know with our geekiness how we feel about it. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.